Hi, I'm Paul Stringfellow, CTO at Gardner Systems. Welcome to this special video that we've put together to introduce our Liverpool-based customers to some of the connectivity options that they've got in the city that might be able to alter some of the ways that they operate their businesses day to day and consume their services. So if you're a business based in the city of Liverpool, this is an episode especially for you. So to help me on this episode, I'm joined by regular faces to those who see our podcast. Jason.
Hello, Jason Fitzgerald.
Got him to introduce himself properly this time. And Wayne Miller.
Hi, Wayne Miller.
Yeah. So we're joined on this episode by Dave Ferry. Hi, Dave. How are you doing?
Hi, Dave Ferry.
So we've introduced everybody. And for those who've never seen our podcast, they're thinking, what are this unprofessional group of people doing talking to us here? But stick with us. We think it'll be worth it. So I mentioned in the introduction, this is a special episode of a special video for businesses based in Liverpool, talking about some of the connectivity options you've got. And so probably start with you, Dave, really, in terms of what some of those options are. But maybe before we jump into that, just for people who don't know you, other than they know your name now.
Well, they do.
Who you are, what you do.
Yes, my name's Dave Ferry. I'm employed by ITS. We are a partner in the LCR Connect network, which is a business we've invested in with the Combined Authority, Liverpool City Region Combined Authority, which is a bit of a mouthful. And if I say the CA through anything we're talking about, that's what I mean. And also a French engineering company called NGE. They put some of the funding in as well. And this kind of came out of a tender that the Combined Authority put out into the marketplace in 2018, 2019 to improve connectivity for the whole region, so all 6 boroughs of the region, not just kind of Liverpool as a city, but the whole patch. And it really came from the fact that connectivity wasn't as good in Liverpool as it was in some neighbouring cities like maybe Manchester or Greater Manchester. Greater Manchester had gone down a different route with putting better network connectivity in. They'd used something called LFFN funding, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. And really the Combined Authority want to attract businesses, attract investment and help companies get started up in the city region. And I think as a post-industrial city, Liverpool's got a huge opportunity for that, but had been kind of left behind maybe a little bit by the city region, be left behind a little bit compared to somewhere like Manchester. It's got built a real kind of industry around tech, around connectivity, data centres, all of those kind of things. Liverpool City Region hasn't. And this network really is a catalyst, a public investment into some infrastructure to be a catalyst for that to happen. And really, the Mayor's got a grand vision. The Metro Mayor of Liverpool, Steve Rotherham's got a grand vision. And people might have seen him talk about Chattanooga. And if you've not, you should Google it and see what he says about that. I don't want to take up all our time retelling his story. But he was inspired by that. And that's what led him to kind of get investing in this network.
So I suppose my first question on this is, we talk about connectivity, so we've used this broad phrase of connectivity. Yeah. So what does that actually mean in the way you've described it for kind of a city region?
So what we've done with LCR Connect is we've built a network, 212 kilometres of network at the initial design. It's a little bit longer in what we've built. And that connects through all 6 boroughs in resilient rings, which basically means traffic can traverse it in both directions. And if someone sticks a JCB through it, we can make sure, based upon customer requirement, that doesn't knock their connectivity offline. It also connects into the primary kind of internet peering points in the region. So it connects into a landing station in Southport, which connects to the transatlantic cables that go over to America. It connects into proximity data centre in Bromborough, and it connects into 2 kind of strategic BT exchanges as well. And from those peering points, there's multiple links back out to different places so that the whole design of the network is completely resilient. And it's capable of taking real high bandwidth traffic between data centres or from the States through one of those landing stations to those data centres, or serving kind of internet connections for small, medium, large size businesses based within the region.
Yeah, that's good. So high speed, local internet connection, highly resilient.
Absolutely,
in Liverpool. Yeah, I think it's interesting that you mentioned Manchester. Manchester has seen that kind of growth of high bandwidth data centric companies, and I think that Liverpool having that is absolutely key for organisations that want to start up or set up in Liverpool. Having that on tap, being able to have the high bandwidth, low latency, resilient network. It's quite interesting the way it's been built as well. I believe there was there was some cycle paths redone, and they put the fibre optics, I believe, underneath the cycle paths. Is that right?
Yeah. That is. So we've built the network using a mix of build types. So when you're building a network, you can either dig up the roads, which
everyone loves, by the way.
Well, you get to build a lovely, clean network, right? So if I speak to our guys who pull our fibres through it, they'll say, dig it up, put some nice tubes through, it'd be lovely. Problem is, it costs a fortune.
Yeah.
It's terrible for the environment. Because you've got trucks coming in, digging things up, spoil, all of that kind of stuff. It takes a long time and it's disruptive.
Yeah. And
no one wants to be stuck in. You saw the works on the Strand last year. All anyone talked about. Every time I came into Liverpool, the Strand, dug up the Strand. But the good thing is, when they dug up the Strand, we put 4 ducts under each side of it that we pulled the cables through now, and we've got loads of capacity there. The other kind of technologies we've used in building the network is reuse of other people's assets as well. So Openreach's ducts are available for licensed operators to pull their fibre through. So some bits of the network we've got 4-bore duct, other bits we've taken through Openreach's network. 70% of the network is in some kind of duct, 30% is in somebody else's duct, and that's allowed us to build to the right scale in the right places with the right kind of technology.
So maybe just to kind of build on that, I mean, what are some of the use cases then that you've seen using this network? You know, what are businesses able to do now that maybe they haven't been able to do?
So it ranges from small businesses taking service. I was looking actually this morning on our network map of the city centre, and there's these little green symbols that indicate a customer connection, and they're stacking up on top of each other. It's amazing to see, because obviously when you build these things, you think, bloody hell, have we done this right? Are we going to get any connections on this thing? Is anyone going to buy
this?
They
also build it and they will come.
They're definitely going to come.
Yeah.
And it turns out they are, which is brilliant news. And we've got everything from some of the bars around and stuff around Cavan Street and those Castle Street and places like the Cavan, looking at using us for connectivity, right through to when the city region and the city hosted the song contest in the summer. We provided the connectivity that allowed that to happen. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So we provided the connectivity and the security that allowed the broadcast traffic to happen and go where it needed to, for people who were interested in it to vote on who they thought should win. And we made all of that happen, which was really nerve-wracking, and our network operations team spent all night in the office with pizza, obviously, as they do, to make sure that there wasn't any kind of malicious attacks or anything. We were really worried about that, and it all went off without a hitch. And we've since done further events at the ACC from having that connectivity in there. So it's really helping absolutely everyone. And then if I look into the public sector, we're currently connecting a lot of schools in Knowsley Borough to the network as well, which is excellent. And some of the other councils, we're working with them to understand how they can harness the power of this network that we're rolling out.
And are they benefiting from kind of technically how you've built this network? So, you know, so something like lots of schools in a region joining together, is that allowing them to do kind of new things that would be very difficult to do on the traditional providers?
I think it's allowing them access to better connectivity in the main. So some schools have been paying through the nose for a leased line. And look, if I look at that, you think, well, that's just not right. You want your schools to be spending their money on your kids' education, not paying over the odds for connectivity to allow that to happen. And I think we've definitely been able to make that improvement for the schools in Knowsley, and they've been able to get better connectivity at a better price than they could before. And they've obviously benefited from the fact that the CA has rolled out this network. In terms of the technology and the learning of the kids, it means they can do more. Absolutely. A lot of schools, go to my daughter's school, and they've got like smart boards and
iPads everywhere.
iPads online learning as well, isn't
absolutely.
it? Classrooms.
And I think that became prevalent in the pandemic, didn't it? We all like to kind of look back and shudder on that, but kids needed to have access to the internet to learn, and it's going to be part of their lives. I saw a podcast with someone else, and I've always been in two minds. Is it good for kids to be all over social media and all that or not? And in this particular podcast with someone famous, can't remember who it was, and they said it's going to be part of their lives. They need to learn how to do it. So they need all this technology. They need to be hands-on with it. Now look at my 6-year-old now. Picks up the laptop, he logs on, he's gone online, he's playing Roblox, he's doing all that. Yeah, I couldn't have done that at 6.
But it's going back to, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, well, you know, pre-pandemic, we had a lot of clients in Liverpool. And, the challenges that we used to encounter was, the Liverpool wasn't greatly served from a connectivity perspective. It was kind of somebody legacy ADSL kind of products, or a jump up to a lease line. And there was nothing in between. You were chatting before, Jace, weren't you, about the drive to keep technology and businesses in Liverpool. This really addresses that now. We've looked at the we've done quite a bit of analysis on the contended service, right up to the 10 gig, and it really sits right in the middle of that. It's a big opportunity that we need to talk about around the whole area. In terms of the fibre and the rollout and LCR, is LCR Connect, is it complete now? Is there more to build? What percentage are you through there?
So 95% done. I was in a meeting this morning where it'd be fully complete before Christmas.
Wow.
Just some of the
Christmas this year?
Yeah. Just some of the last few sections. Took a bit longer than we thought to build. The fact that some of the ducted sections, things like traffic management, some of that was a challenge. But we've got there, and kind of 95% of the premises we wanted to be able to be served by this network at design can access it now. 5% still to come, but over the next kind of 5 weeks, that'll all be finished off. Some finishing touches to getting all of that.
Fantastic, yeah.
And the beauty of this network is it's not just built so that we go and sell to these end users. We trade through a network of partners, and that's what ITS do generally across the country and in Liverpool. So you can, as a business, you can buy through your chosen partner and they can harness the power of the network. But that also means that operators who are building out into, say, residential areas, they can buy dark fibre from us for backhaul, and some have. So some of the network, other operators that are rolling out into the city region have bought backhaul from LCR Connect. So it's not just feathering our own nest as such as that joint venture business, but it's about enabling connectivity for the whole region, and through those operators, underpinning things like mobile operators. The network's open access. Anyone can come to us and say, can I buy a connection, lit or dark, through your network? And we'll say, well, yeah, you can. Obviously, certain use cases on there. And
that'd include businesses coming to you and could say, I'll
if a business came to us, we'd say, choose to buy through one of our partners.
Yeah.
Because one of the reasons we go through partners is we're experts in connectivity. So we'll give you some connectivity, but our partners are experts in other things. They might be experts in SD-WAN, security, voice over IP, many multitudes of things. And you've got lots of, vertical specialisms. You look across small and medium businesses, and they make up 99% of businesses in this country. But in that bucket, you've got everything from a hairdresser through to a 250-seat call centre and everything in between. We can't be all things to all men, or women, or people. But what we can do is get that connectivity perfect, and our partners can layer their services on top of it. And sometimes that'll be a partner like Gardner. Yep. Sometimes your offering won't appeal to those businesses because you're just not in that vertical, and that's fine. But our network can serve them all through that network of partners.
And so maybe just kind of to wrap up, I mean, there's two things maybe for me. And maybe one thing that's important for people to realise, I mean, while we've talked about Liverpool City Region specifically here, you kind of touched on ITS as a national company. So, if you've got offices in Liverpool but elsewhere, we can do connectivity to those.
Absolutely.
And I suppose maybe the follow-on question from that, so for people watching this and saying, well, this all sounds very interesting, what are some of the things that they should be thinking about that says, do you know what, an altnet actually is something I should be considering?
I think what the altnets are alternative networks. Alternatives to word that was coined by the industry really as operators started springing up to challenge the status quo of a duopoly between BT and Virgin. But I think what you often get with an altnet is you might get a more focused level of service than you will from a big national incumbent. You may get a little bit of a more specialised service around it, but you'll also get networks that have been built very recently with the latest technology. You get the latest products and services. And we've set out to address a challenge, We've set out to address a challenge that for a lot of businesses, the only option was a really expensive lease line until very recently. And still now, the incumbents aren't building out their broadband tech into areas where they got a lot of lease lines.
And in Liverpool, the option was an expensive lease line or move somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I think that LCR Connect really draws that and keeps businesses that want to be in Liverpool.
Definitely, right across the city region. It's all 6 boroughs, not just Liverpool city centre. But even then, it means businesses can stay within those boroughs and start trading. They don't necessarily need to even move into Liverpool city centre.
Yeah.
So it should level up the whole of everywhere in doing that. But we can provide a national offering. So if a business is multi-sited and some of those sites are within the city region and some aren't, either they can be on an ITS network footprint outside of the city region, and we'll connect that on our network. But we also have partnerships with all the big national providers as well, so we can provide a true multi-site offering for any of our partners, customers. Bear in mind, our partners are selling to someone else, we can provide that solution using our network. We can provide all that resilience and all of those kind of things so that the partners can deploy all their clever stuff. Look, no one's buying an internet connection for buying an internet connection's sake. Internet connections are boring. They're buying it to do something, and our partners are doing the something, and we can undo the knitting underneath that, really, to make that sing.
And that's kind of what it sounds like. I think so for people watching this, based in the city, if you're looking to do something, I mean, there's obviously commercial benefits. So maybe you want to just keep your current provider honest and look at commercials that other providers can do. I think that's one thing. But also from as a techie at heart, from a techie point of view, if you're looking to do something innovative with connectivity that you might not be able to get off the shelf from a national provider is the wrong word, a traditional provider, that actually somebody like LCR Connect can give you the ability to be innovative, can give you nationwide coverage, so you can be innovative across country. So if people want to find out more about, obviously you can talk to the team here at Gardeners for specifics, but if they just want to find out in general more about kind of your points of connectivity, this kind of services you can offer, how do they do that?
Just stick LCR Connect in Google for your top result and have a look through there. There's things you can click to contact the team, and we can get in touch, or put you in touch with a partner, or whether that's Gardner or someone else that suits your needs, and we can help. But there should be a
and as you know, Dave, there's nobody else.
Well, that's fine.
It's just
I've got
us.
to be impartial. I have other partners. You say they'll all get dead sad if I start only shouting about you guys. So.
But as far as this video audience is concerned, there's only us. Well, Jason, Wade, any other questions?
No, I think we've summed it up. I think we're seeing now de facto 100 meg into places that would have been contended, and 100 meg is very, very competitive on, certainly on the LCR Connect network. So, and that's only going to increase. And I think, as we've spoken about in the previous kind of podcast, having the ability to be able to scale from 100 meg to a gig to 10 gig on the same infrastructure quickly, historically, that could have been months, now we're talking days, in some cases hours in terms of, turning bandwidth on. And as we pointed out before, we're sat in Liverpool podcast studio, they have high bandwidth requirements, quite quickly in terms of uploading the data, etc. So, maybe bandwidth as a service is something potentially. So,
Or as a service.
As a service.
So, well, Dave, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
It's been really great, and interesting in terms of your business in Liverpool. You want to find out more about what LCR Connect can do for your business, then do contact the team here at Gardeners. We'll be happy to help you and put you in touch with Dave if we need to do that as well. So, everybody, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it.
Okay.
And join us on a special video again sometime in the future.
Cheers, Paul.
Cheers,
Jace.